Hello world, this is Kevin with LiveLifeVideo, and it is -2 degrees outside, and I wasn't planning on doing a video today, but we're going to talk about this little light, this right here, compared with this larger light. One is $17 and the other is $79, and we're going to see what's the difference between them, how they work, and do a little bit of an unboxing here. So welcome to LiveLifeVideo. So today we're going to focus on this little bad boy right here. This one, the one at $17. We're going to compare a little bit to this one, but I want to show you show it on the wall, what it looks like, what I've done here in my little home studio office here. Some of you may have seen our little Christmas video that we did, but I took it downstairs and I grabbed two of these little can lights, par can lights, and just threw them up on the back wall for a little bit of just kind of the blue look in the background. And I've got a number of people asking me, how did you get that blue light and what did you use? And well, those expensive lights, no, they're $17. So, you know, put them a couple of them together and they're pretty cheap. I bought 6 of these things, and 5 of them were great. One of them I had some issues with. This one right here, as you can see, it's not a wireless light at all. It is that the cord burned through. So we're going to talk about that, but I had no problems with any other ones, and the customer service was great on they're getting a new one to me immediately. So let's talk about these. So I'm going to do a little bit of an unboxing here of this video. If you take this thing and open it up, here's what it looks like. It comes all in this little box like this. The first thing that comes out of this is the bracket. And this bracket, it's not super duper heavy, but it's very sufficient, more than sufficient for this light. Compared with this one has a double one. This is probably not twice as thick, but this is I don't know, it's maybe a third thicker, more thicker than this one. And then we have this that comes out. It's the actual light. That's all there basically is to it. Open that, and there is the little instruction, and there's some padding on the bottom. The instructions are extremely limited. I'm just going to say up front. There's also about 2 other lights that are out there about the exact same thing. I was very impressed with this company though. It's the Z-Trades or Z-Trades, Z-I-T-R-A-D-E-S. I'll throw it up on the screen. But it tells you very little. Now, one of the things, if you have never done this, this is my first experience with this DMX lights. When I first bought this, I didn't have a controller or anything at all, but you have these little dip switches on the back of these, and then you can just change. If you take your pen and you can just clip these up and down. I'll show you what each of these does in a minute, so you don't have to buy the controller. I did buy a controller, and I'll show that here on the screen that you can see. It's not a really expensive one, but you can do a number of different channels. I just put everything on 2 channels because it's really kind of complicated to figure that out. So this first slider here adjusts the brightness of the light and then also the strobing function of it. This first channel, turn it all the way up, and this first one is red. Second one is a green. And the third one, or the 4th channel here, is blue. So let me show you the strobing function. So if you get up here about halfway, is what it becomes about the brightest it becomes. Then past that a little bit further, it starts strobing. Then you push it all the way up its full brightness. But you don't need it. You can use this independent of it. The other thing I like about this light is that you can also use it if you're just using it in your house, or you've got, you're watching movies, or you just want to jam in your bedroom. You can do that, and it's also voice activated or sound activated, so it'll switch the colors to that, or you can fix it so it'll strobe. So I'll run you through some of those things in a little bit. So then you just have it comes in this little bubble wrap here. Comes out. This is basically it. You've got this with the 2 screws that hooks it up, and be really careful because when it comes out, you got these 2 little rubber things. And when you put this together, you just run this through here, the side of it like this, and then put this rubber piece in here. And I noticed there's a little bit of variance. I don't know between the different lights that came. Some of them are a little bit thicker than others, so I don't know what that's about. But then you just take and put it on the side of here, and then you screw it together. Like so, and that's it. And I find that it holds pretty well. I'll show you my camera here. I mounted my stuff up here on the ceiling, and I'll run you through those. I just went to Menards and bought these tracks because what I did is my kids moved out of the house and went off to college. I had an empty room here, so I confiscated it. It's not a big room, but I got tired of, I had all these lights. I mean, I literally had like 6 different light stands around this room, and then I bought a little table to put in here because I just wanted just a clean white background for here, and then I can put different things up here. So I have a black background and some other pop-up things as well, but I just like the clean white. But it was just covered this room, you couldn't even walk. So I'm like, okay, let's get this stuff up off the ground and put up on the ceiling. So I may do something about my studio later, but minimum amount of money, and it's really worked out really well. So I just mounted these things to the ceiling, just throw some blue light on my computer and the keyboard if I'm doing a shot that way. So anyway, so putting it together is super duper easy, and I'm going to run you through the different dip switches. But the other thing I want to talk about this is the outside is a metal, and then it has this like kind of plastic glass cover over here, and it's got all the LED lights in there. It's pretty sturdy. Somebody had asked me if they're waterproof. No, they're not. I wouldn't put these outside at all if it was going to rain or anything. The one thing I will say about this cord, what happened with this cord, like I said, all of the different units were fine except for this one. I had hooked it up there to the top like this, and then I'd gone back to move it, and I'm standing up there moving this thing around, and I went to move it up like this, and all of a sudden this huge spark arced, and this thing popped off, and it burned. It literally burned through the cord. So I was like, a little dramatic, but I called and told them, your light almost killed me. But they immediately, were quite concerned and offered to send me a replacement one. But all the other ones were fine. I would say to just check it. It's probably something in manufacturing. This one looks really pretty good on both of these ends. I'll do a close-up of this one. Here's the one that actually, you see it actually completely burned through. So again, this is $17. If they don't last all that long, it's not a big deal, but this is a metal unit. I will say that this is all surrounded by plastic, though, which gives you some insulation in case something does happen like that hopefully will protect you. But just check it. I'll show you a close-up of this. This is a little bit loose on this end. So I talked about to the customer service people and said, hey, you guys really look at this from a manufacturing perspective. I said, I'd rather pay a couple bucks more and strengthen this cord a little bit. If I was going to be taking this stuff and bouncing around back and forth between, like if you're using these as a DJ or something, I probably wouldn't buy these lights, or if I did, I would hook them on here and just leave them, like wire them up, so you don't want to be unhooking these cords. The other thing, this does not unhook like it's supposed to be stuck on here. So, and I hadn't moved these around. I literally just bought it out of the box and put it up there. Whereas this one, the Mega Par Profile, this is a extremely heavy cord comparison, if you can see this, but it's not even, this is literally probably 4 times as big and as heavy. This is your standard like cord that you would use in your computer. So and this is just a lot bigger light. I'll show you how it looks up here on the wall. I'll turn the lights off to show you the difference between how they would look on a wall and what their projected throw is. But I am very happy with these. I would recommend them. I would just say double check to make sure you didn't get one that was defective. But they've been great little lights. I had bought 2 quite some time ago, and they worked out fine. And then it was just these 4. The 2 I had originally are actually fine. So I'm going to go to the other side of the camera and show these up on the wall, turn off these studio lights off, so you can kind of see what these would throw from a perspective from some distance away. Okay, so basically how this thing works, this is my new little aperture light. I actually love this thing. This is one of the coolest little lights that I've bought. You buy some of these things that make you like super duper happy. Well, this is one of them. So it's really tiny. I'm going to do a review on that. I'll put the link to it below. But it's great as a little spotlight or kind of a fill, or just to put something over to put some color on the background or whatever. But I want to just show this up here. So how this light, when it comes to, if all these little dip switches here are all the way up or off, what it does, it goes off of sound. So right back, let me get my cajon here. You all familiar with the cajon? That's what this bad boy is. So anyway, you get the picture. So when all the switches are up, that's the way it operates. Okay, so if you see this, if you pull this number 9 one down, it actually just kind of scrolls through the colors automatically. It's not sound operated. If you click it or whatever, it just slowly fades from one color to the next and keeps repeating to this. The other thing I would say is if you're wanting to hook this up to your DMX controller, you got to push the number 10 one down. I did figure that I put everything that I had on two channels. So I just kept it real simple because I wanted all these to be the same color. Then I wanted a couple to that I could switch out. So I've got them on 2 channels. If you want to do that, it's really easy. Pull the first one, pull the 10, number 10's dip switch down, and then you pull the number 1, and then that puts it on, assigns it to the first channel for a locator. And then, by the way, number 2 is not channel 2. It goes from 1 to 16. So you have to go down here to number 5, and there's a number of people on the internet who've done that. It's not really 5. It ends up making it 16. The way this is just weird how these dip switch things work. So basically, if you want to put on channel 1, you just pull 1 down, and then if you want to do channel the second channel on your controller, you just push the number 5 down. Here is the colors. Here's red, green, blue, like a yellow. So it's really red, green, and blue. And then if you can combine some of the colors together, you make like this. This is like a purple color. Okay, to get some perspective, I'm standing about 10 foot back here behind the screen, and I've got my softbox and my Diva ring and all this stuff turned off, and all that's lighting this room right now at all is the $17 Z-Trades thing. So this is about, like I said, about 10 foot away, and you can hear even my voice. Like if I tap it, and you can see about what the throw is like. Okay, this is interesting. Looking at this now with the lights on, it looks significantly brighter with the DJ, American DJ. You really find it. It's really interesting because when I look at here with my naked eye, you can't hardly see the difference. But when you look on the camera here, see here they are side by side. The Par Cam is definitely throws a bigger, stronger, powerful light. So here they are. 2 of them are side by side. Get a little perspective of what they look like. So if we look at these, for each color there's significantly more lights going on with just the colors with the Mega Par. So yeah, it's definitely a brighter light. So basically that's it. I think it's a great little, especially somebody who's just getting started doing something cheap. I think it's great.